Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Dom, I'm the Chief Tech. Today we're going to be working on 4 of these switch controllers, which all have a drifting problem. So let's get down to it. Grab yourself a beverage and I'll see you on the flip side. Right, so here's the 4 Joycons. What I've done is buy a kit off Amazon for $8.99, and what I'm going to do first is just show you what comes with that kit. You get off Amazon for $8.99, I'll do a link down below. You get the screwdrivers you need, paintbrush sort of thing so you can clean out debris, and a couple of spudgers and a pair of tweezers and stuff. Times 4 analog sticks, a couple of, well, what do you call these, sort of grips, I suppose. Comes with spare screws, that's always handy, and some paperwork which says, please feel free to contact us via email, yada yada yada. Make sure that you're 100% satisfied. And it comes with a little gift card if you do a review as well. So yeah, link below for that kit if you do have this problem and you feel like you can take it on. I have never done this before, but I'm confident that I can do this. So first things first, we will get one apart, see what's inside. So this uses a tri-wing screwdriver for this. So should, here we go. So inside, do not pull apart directly because there's ribbon cables galore. Okay, now we got it apart. There's connectors inside that we have to be very careful of. So 2 ribbon cables, what looks like an aerial cable, or Wi-Fi aerial. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is, using a spudger, pry up the battery very carefully. So I pried up from this area here, and I'm not pulling on too hard because there's loads of wires coming out of it. So underneath, pry upwards, being very careful. There will be some adhesive here, I think. So that's out of the way now. And we can take that bit there. And as I've taken them screws out now, that's very easy to take out. But what I'm going to do very carefully is make sure I don't pull the battery holder out too much because there is a little ribbon cable underneath. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just take these little black tabs and pull them upwards by pulling up slightly and pulling out. Little grey tab inside there. If you put that up the same way you did with the other ribbon cables, I should be able to take that out very carefully now. So now I've got the battery compartment out, that's good. So set that to the side, that flips up, and then I should be able to take this out as well. Yep, there we go. So on this little white one here, it's a little bit different. On the back of it, you need to flip that tiny little tab up. Be very careful though, because that looks very fragile. Alright, being very careful, I'm going to try and pull the battery out by putting underneath where the wires are, pulling upwards with this spudger. Okay, so I've pried up a little bit, and there we go. Being very careful, that's very delicate. You can see the connector there. The connector there is very tiny, very, very delicate. So this is the analog stick. It takes 2 Phillips screws. First thing we'll do actually is this little tab. So disconnect the tab, 2 screws later, and I should be able to remove this. Gonna need to remove the rubber first. If you get a stubborn one like this, what I'll do is pass the rubber through first, and then the analog stick. That's a lot better than breaking it off and not being able to get it back on. So now that's on, I'll leave that for a second. Put the screws back in, plug it in, put the battery connector back on, and that's done. Remember, go counterclockwise at first until you feel the thread, then tighten it up. What I'm going to do is not tighten it up all the way until I've got the other screw back in. So anti-clockwise, feel the thread, then go back in. So, and then go clockwise, sorry. Thing is with these screws, they're self-tapping, so if you take them in and out a few times, it will destroy the plastic. Okay, next bit, go back to the plastic tweezers. Once that's in, push the tab back down. That's that. So yeah, 2 screws, push the analog stick back in, and then put the connector back in, and that's replaced. Right, so now get your battery back in. So all I did there was press down with the plastic tweezers. Make sure you don't use metal tweezers on this. Then remember to link up this trigger back to the port it goes into. Now plugged in the ribbon cable. We'll thread the wire through this way. Okay, so I've put the 2 ribbon cables back in. I need to put the 3 screws back in. Alright, so now all the ribbon cables are in, all the screws are back in, buttons are placed properly. That's one done. Last step, which is the rubber grip, needs to be pulled back on properly. And that's complete. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to do the opposite end to this. So this is plus, we need to do a minus. Then I'll test them and I'll do the rest of them. So time for a minus, which must be different slightly. Okay, so try ring again. There we go, 1 click. That's the battery unplugged. Tool to lift up the flaps. That's that side free with 2 ribbon cables. Have to get out of the way. That should just lift out. So again, just to say, I wouldn't do this if the battery was plugged in, just in case it creates a short. So that's a pair done. What I've also learned is those analog sticks can come out of the packet and still drift. So it's a good idea if you do think of investing £8 or £9 or whatever it was, £8.99 into this set. Just buy this one set for maybe 2 controllers and then at least you've got some spares. I've got, well, you know what, we're going to figure out how to fix these other ones I've got with maybe a bit of isopropyl alcohol. So let's do that. Flap up, this out. As we've learned, there's a membrane there, it's not the plastic, so you don't have to take that rubbery bit off. Okay, so we get the new one, which is here. As I said before, I'm not an expert at this, I'm just trying to learn a bit more about small electronics and gaming things. So yeah, just to improve my knowledge. So there we go. So one ribbon cable's in. We use the plastic bit to push down the tab. Sorry about that, guys, camera died, but I've managed to finish this controller. It's got a new joystick and it needs testing. Sorry, analog stick, not joystick. Okay, so we'll move on to the next one, which needs, I don't know, well, what we can do is try and clean this one out without taking it apart. So I need to take out the battery and then clean up the inside of this analog stick to see if we can get that working, and then hopefully, if that works, we've got a full set of 2 Joy-Cons that work. Right, so first things first, I'm getting quite quick at this now. Budger under it, these screws. Contact cleaner. Okay, so I've given this 5 to 10 minutes now to get dried out a little bit, so So I've been testing this for about, I don't know, 5 minutes. And before, if I left it alone, it would start scrolling across the screen by itself with the joysticks because it would be drifting. But now, yeah, it's all fine. Great success. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Big thank you to David, who was the one who lent me these Switch controllers to fix this week. Like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.